Hi everybody, Don Giannatti, lighting-essentials.com and project52prosystem.com. Look, before we go any farther, I want to tell you how much I appreciate people subscribing. So if you feel like maybe you want to know when I post new stuff, and I'll be posting a lot of new stuff, just hit the little subscribe button down there and say, hey, I'd like to be a part of the knowledge group here. It's easy. Only takes like, I don't know, 2 seconds. Anyway, hit the subscribe button and let your friends know that I'm talking about photography over here. I've got a couple of other videos I've got to put up, like my welcome video and stuff, but that's all talking about me, and I don't really talk about me all that much. But I do have, interestingly enough, surprise, I do have something to talk about today called the 7 assumptions that we photographers make without even really thinking about it. So let's just kick that off, all right? Let's some assumptions that we photographers make, and I bet you've made some of them yourselves. Number 1, we assume that highly successful professional photographers are more creative than we are. We assume that, and we would be wrong. Some are, some aren't. We don't know the limits of your creativity yet. You've got to get out there and push it. But I can tell you, a really, really creative photographer who doesn't market, doesn't manage his community, she doesn't create bonds, she's not part of the world of photography, is going to do far less than someone who is, let's say, moderately creative, but very engaged. It's just, that's the way it is. If creativity was the leveler, that'd be cool, but it's not. We assume that professional photographers are gearheads, and we probably assume wrong in some cases. In other cases, couldn't be more right. But hey, sometimes when you're a professional, you're a gearhead just because your profession calls for it. So I'm not going to bash gearheads on this at all. I'm not one, but I do love my gear. The stuff that I have, I love. I'm kind of a minimalist till it comes to film cameras, and I'm kind of a nutcase. But as far as lighting and that stuff, I'm kind of a minimalist. I'm a minimalist in my compositions as well. But not every photographer gravitates towards tons of gear. There are many, many photographers who have very minimalistic, very small amounts of gear. They just use what they need. There's an architectural photographer, does very well in San Francisco and Seattle, and he has 2 lenses. He has 2 tilt shifts, I believe, or 1 tilt shift and 1 wide angle. That's really all he needs for his photography. So not everybody with a lot of gear is any good either. Gear doesn't transfer to I'm a good photographer just because I got a ton of gear. We assume that professional photographers are chosen. They're special. They're lucky. They got that magic, something we don't have. In every case of every photographer I've ever known or met who was highly successful, they worked their ass off. They weren't chosen, they chose themselves, and they pushed and pushed and pushed. And that's what it takes. No one's going to pick you for this. No one's going to go, yeah, that guy. You know what, let's go with that gal over there with the red hair. You've either got to work, you don't. You don't have to be good looking. You don't have to be suave and debonair like me. But you just have to do the work. So you're not chosen. You choose yourself. And that's a great book, by the way, Choose Yourself by James Altucher. It'll change your life. Trust me. Go to Amazon and buy it. We assume, this is number 4, we assume that no means we suck. We show our book to somebody, we show our portraits to some client, and they don't like us, or they don't hire us, or whatever reason. We assume that they think we suck. They may not think we suck. They may not have a use for us right at the time. No means you didn't get the gig. That's all it means. Doesn't mean you suck. Doesn't mean you're destined for failure. Doesn't mean you're down the tubes for the long haul. Just means you didn't get that job. Get the next one by getting up off your ass and going out and showing somebody else your work. The Project 52 Pro system folks will tell you that it works, because it works for every one of them. We have a brand new student, by the way, who was getting some props for her third or fourth assignment. And she got a great idea. I'm going to go and talk to this company in town that does this for a living. That's their job. I'm going to pick their brain, see if I can borrow some bottles of wine. She goes and does it. She leaves with a job. They let her use the wine. She borrowed the wine, and now she's got a gig. They want her to shoot for money for their store. We assume that everyone knows what we do. Number 5. We just assume that everyone knows what we do. It may come to as a shock to you, but they may not know what you do at all. You may think they do because they know you. I had a friend for over 15 years, pretty good friend. We'd have lunch now and then, and we'd chat a little bit. He gives me a call one day and says, my company's looking to hire a photographer. I know you like cameras. Do you know any photographers who shoot professionally? I thought, never mind. I didn't want to embarrass him, so I passed him on to a friend of mine. I didn't want to do the job anyway. Sometimes when you get accustomed to doing certain kinds of work, other kind of work just goes, I don't want to do this. If he was paying a ton of money, maybe I'd do it. I didn't want to do it. Anyway, clients are just people. They're going to forget what you do. People are people. Art directors are people. Creative directors are people. Photo editors are people. You have to keep reminding them what it is you do and how you do it. Otherwise, they're just going to forget. Or the last guy that told them what they did, he's top of mind. That's why I say market, market, market. 3 contacts a day, 5 contacts a day if you're really brave. 3 or 5, not 4. 4 sucks. Anyway, you go 3 contacts a day, at least you stay top of mind. They don't need a photographer every day. They're not hiring photographers every day at any ad agency. You need to be top of mind when it comes around to your turn. We assume that there must be a secret to success. We assume wrong. There's no secret. There's just a lot of hard work, a little bit of luck, created by all the hard work, and we just keep our heads down and keep pushing forward. What else are you going to do? Wait for that magic bullet? Buy that ebook by that famous online photographer who's got an ebook on how to get in the business by only working 1 hour a day in your pajamas because, hey, it's so simple. He's getting rich because you're dumb enough to buy the book. Don't do that. Don't fall into that trap. There's no secret. There's no easy button. There just isn't. Anyone trying to sell you that, just, I would say hit them right in the face, but I don't want YouTube to get mad at me. So I'm not going to say hit them right in the face. That would be a terrible thing to do. In the face. Anyway, number 7, we assume that there must be a roadmap, an instruction card, some sort of pathway. Maybe it's a PDF. Maybe it's an awesome e-zine. Maybe we can get it at Amazon that will tell us exactly how to get there. You can see people who take workshop after workshop after workshop after workshop in marketing. Taking photography workshops, that's a great thing. I wish I had the time to take a photography workshop. I'd take one every damn weekend. I love them. I love to learn from other people. I love to see other people learning. But we think that there's a pathway that's going to guarantee us success. And there isn't. I created a system that will help people, but it's no guarantee. There's never a guarantee. The only thing that's guaranteed is if you don't do the work, you don't get the gig. If you don't do the work, you don't build a portfolio. If you don't do the work, you don't have the chops. End of story. Just the way it is. Find mentors, role models, friends, consultants, clients, anyone that'll help you, and build and build and build on that help. That's really all you have to do. Seriously. I mean, I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm just saying that's what you have to do. Stop assuming. Stop assuming all of these things because they're not true and they won't help you. Anyway, little soapbox lecture there because of a conversation that I recently had, and stop assuming anything other than assume this. If you work really hard, really smart, and you focus and focus and focus, you will have a better chance of making it than someone who doesn't. Didn't say guarantee. I said a better chance. See you next time.